In the last video, I explained how a conversation with a guy turned into myself and my wife purchasing a small boat and crossing the Atlantic Ocean. In this video, I would like to continue by telling you all the sacrifices that we had to do to realize that dream. However, this is going to be a positive video because if you look at the end of the video, you will realize that as soon as you really want something badly in life, it is worthwhile just going for it. Now, on my other videos, I use the analogy of going from an old car to a new shiny car, and how that process of change is the same process as you can use to actually change yourself. So going from the old car that didn't want to start in the morning, that you were totally sick of, to the new car, all that you did is you started concentrating more and more on the images of the new car. You visualized more and more how wonderful it would be to have that sports car. It's going to be sunlight yellow, it's going to have red stripes on the bonnet. So as soon as all those images kicked in, and all of them being emotional, you went through the process of affirmation. You went from, I don't want this crappy one anymore, I want that shiny one. Now, bear that in mind as I tell you what happened after we decided to sell everything and to buy a small boat and sail. Now, initially, we started realizing quickly that as soon as we started thinking about the new dream, sailing into that sunset, we became so discontent with the old. It is as if though all of a sudden your old life doesn't have any meaning anymore. I looked for fault left, right and center. I'll get up in the morning, be so miserable just to go to work, because I would tell myself, hey man, I need to sail onto an island. What on earth am I sitting in this fancy car going to my job, which is never going to end? I'm just going to keep on climbing this corporate ladder and it will never end. And I got so frustrated and so sick with the old life that I really wanted to burst forth into that new one. Now, I need to tell you that one should be very careful in terms of the speed that you want to do that in. I became so discontent with my job that a colleague came to me and he said, can I give him 10,000 Rand so that he can lend it to people? And I said, yeah, sure, here's the money, whatever, dude. And it actually turned out he was lending the money to staff members. And the three of us, there were three of us, in another guy gave him money as well. So the corporate decided to actually fire all three of us. And there I was, being very discontent with my old life, already way out there on that little boat crossing that ocean. And I want to tell you that if this happened in your life, please comment, because we will often in life just sabotage ourselves. We will burn bridges, and then we will look back and we will never understand exactly why we did that. So this may be clarity for you. You burn those bridges because you just get so sick of the old and you just want to move into the new. Now, once they fired me, I appealed, and my appeal was successful because I did disciplinary inquiries. It was part of my job. There was a lot of stuff that the chairman did wrong in the dismissal, so I actually got reinstated. But again, being very discontent with the old, I decided to actually resign. I know I could have taken the corporate body to Labour Court and I would have won the case. And later on they admitted to me that they were thinking about a certain percentage to actually pay me had I gone to Labour Court. Now, the reason that I did not go is purely because of what I then believed to be decency and honesty and integrity. The kind of values that you build your life upon. And it wasn't like me to just go to court just for the sake of the money. I wanted to save my name. Looking back, I don't know how much of that actually happened, because I was with them for probably about a week or two, and then I just resigned. So in that process, one morning I got into my nice sport car and I went to work. And it was during that process of disciplinary inquiry. And all of a sudden I just had this heavy feeling on my chest. It's undescribable. I started slumping over on the steering wheel. I left the road and I just sat there for probably about 2 or 3 minutes just to catch my breath, and to immediately you think, okay, this is it, I'm a goner, I'm not going to make this. I eventually recovered a bit to turn around and go and see our local doctor. It was still early in the morning, so his mum was his secretary and his receptionist. So I was slumped over on the steering wheel, and she came over and she immediately phoned him, and they got me into the emergency room of our local GP, and he gave me that magic little pill underneath your tongue to just open up all your pores and stuff, and I started feeling better. Wasn't out of the woods yet, and he got the ambulance to take me to the emergency unit of the local hospital. Now I can vividly remember my wife driving behind that ambulance, and I can remember the one paramedic said, well, it's not for me to give you advice, but I would advise you to change your lifestyle. And I looked at him and I smiled and I said, yeah, that's exactly what I did like a month and a half ago. We made this huge decision to sell everything and to buy a small boat and to go sailing. And now what? Will this happen? Am I going to die? It turned out that I had a major angina attack, which is the prerequisite for a heart attack. And once I was checked out, I was told by the specialist the same thing. He said, listen mate, this kind of stress is not for you anymore. You need to change your life. And I was 35 years old. But then fortunately the decision has already been taken to do so. Otherwise I have no idea what would eventually have happened. Now, after that scare, we really started focusing in on what we wanted to do. And I want to tell you that if you want to change, literally change your life, totally change that from one direction into another, that you have to close those doors. You really, and sometimes the universe will do it for you. It will just slam that door shut in your face. Don't despair, because that is the universe's way of telling you it is now time. It is now time for you to close all those doors in the past and to start opening the doors in the future.